Welcome, Hornets. We're going to be talking about basic limits today and properties of limits. So in this portion, we're just taking a look at some of the basics for part one. And then as we go to part two, we're going to look at some special limits and we're going to see how that goes. So starting off with the basic properties, there are three basic properties that you need to be aware of. First of all, the limit as x approaches any value for any constant is that constant. Now, the whole idea behind this is that if we have a horizontal line, anywhere we try to find our limit from two sides, so let's just look at a graph that says that this is A. As we approach A from both sides, we will always be on the line y equals b, and therefore b can be the only answer. All right? We have no other choice. We can't move anywhere else. It's the only y-intercept that is available, and you'll notice it is a two-sided limit. We can see it's a two-sided limit because there is no symbol behind. The second property that we have is the second one that we've been using, and it says that the limit as x approaches a value, let's call it c, for any basic linear equation is just plugging in that value. Think about it. If you have the graph y equals x, if I'm approaching c and I plug c into y equals x, I get c out. And as I approach it from both sides, it will always be the same. Now, it doesn't matter whether there's a coefficient in front, any linear equation works like this. And we saw that in our initial introduction and review of limits that you saw last. Now, the third property deals with polynomials. Now, we've seen with polynomials such as quadratics that the same applies. If I have a limit as x approaches some value c for any type of polynomial to an nth power, it is always going to be the c to that power. Now, once again, we've seen this with such things like the limit as x approaches 1 for x squared. In such a situation, we're saying that we have a polynomial x squared. We are approaching x equals 1. Our y value for that point is 1. And if you recall, the limits are the y values to any ordered pair. So if I plug in 1, my output is 1. This is also a two-sided equation, just like the others that we've seen. In fact, one of the things that we're going to be dealing with now is that we want two-sided equations. Now, oftentimes we end up having to deal with one-sided equations, especially at asymptotes. However, in these situations, we're just looking at some basics, and these basics are fairly easy. Alrighty, thank you, and we'll see the other properties in our next video. Thank you.